Hi folks, this is Robin from Red Fez. Today we've got a product review for you and we are looking at the Hi-Spec 200 watt soldering gun set. Okay, so obviously you get more than just the soldering gun in here, you get some other parts in it as well. So hopefully everything you're going to need to start soldering. So let's open the box up. As you can see, it comes in a really nice moulded plastic case. And when we open it up, we've got our instruction manual and warranty card. And you can see here what we get in it. So the soldering gun itself, which is quite a considerable size, with two different tips as well. Some solder, some flux, and a little wrench or spanner. I'm assuming that will be to change between the different tips. Obviously this comes with a UK plug because we're reviewing this in the UK, but I do believe this is available in other countries as well. The actual gun itself, is a variable temperature gun, which is very, very useful, and also has a very useful guide light on there as well. It's very, very heavy. There's a good weight to that, and I always tend to take that as a good sign of quality, particularly in electronic items. So that's what you get in the box. What we need to do is actually see how well it does in practice. Now I've got hold of this because I want to see if this will be able to remove components from, say, motherboards. A lot of stuff on motherboards is very, very high temp stuff, and my ordinary soldering iron doesn't cut it. So we shall see if this is up to the task. Okay, so we're here on the workbench with the Hi-Spec soldering gun, and I've got a couple of other tools here just to help me out, and I've got a PCB. This is from an old satellite receiver box, and it's this kind of thing that can be difficult to work with a standard soldering iron. So the solder on here, as I say, is usually very high temp solder, so I'm hoping that this Hi-Spec unit is going to be good enough to be able to allow me to take some components off this PCB. So I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to set my temperature to B according to the instruction manual. That's the right temperature range for removing tin or soldering tin onto PCB. So let's give this a go. I think some of the capacitors on here look like prime candidates to me, so let's see what we can do. That is certainly melting the solder. It's certainly doing the job. So let's see if I can use my solder sucker to then remove the solder from the board. And there we go. I don't know if the camera can focus on that easily, but there is one capacitor removed from the board. Now if anything on here, we've got some of the traces that have come off, so that just tells me that yes, it certainly gets hot enough. In fact, if anything, it's probably much hotter than you need. So I'm going to try turning it down and seeing what happens on the lower temperature. There we go, second one removed. That's on the lower temperature, and that leaves the traces on the board. So I'd easily be able to resolder a component back onto this board if I needed to. So what's my assessment of the Hi-Spec 200 watt soldering gun kit excellent. Does the job for me. Heats up nice and quickly. Good thing about a gun is you can leave it on the desk like that, and the actual element itself is not going to get into contact with anything. Heats up quickly, cools down quickly, gets up to the temp that you need to actually do the sorts of jobs that you're going to need such a tool for. So would I recommend the Hi-Spec tool? Yes, I certainly would. It's very reasonably priced for what it is. I think you can pick up the kits for around about £20, which is excellent indeed. Obviously I can't speak for longevity because this is new. And what we might do is obviously post a video later where we can talk about whether it's still going and how well it's still performing in a few months' time, or maybe a year's time. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching this video. Do comment, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.